Today I'm joined by Rocio Pérez, founder of the MindShift Experience, best-selling author, and someone who spent decades working with leaders and organizations on confidence, communication, and leadership. Thank you so much for being here.
Makaeel, thank you so much. I'm really excited about our conversation today and looking forward to it.
Likewise. And honestly, what really stood out to me is the combination of your personal story and experiences, the scale of your work, reaching tens of thousands of professionals, and how you've turned that into frameworks as well through your books and publishing. And I'm really excited for this. I feel like there's a lot of overlap in how you think about leadership from the inside out and how we're thinking about communication at Noor. Just going right into it. So you've worked with so many leaders through the MindShift experience. What's something most people consistently do you think get wrong about how they're being perceived or how they're coming across?
It's such a great question right there. A lot of people think that it's like, if I follow this system, people are going to get me, they're going to connect with me and so forth. And we all assume that we're all coming from the same place, when in reality, our external world is only a reflection of our inner world. That's all it is, right? Our life experiences have shaped us in ways that we can't even imagine. And when we think about the leadership world, what does that look like? Maybe we call it imposter syndrome. Where did that imposter syndrome come from? How do I deal with it? And it's more than just saying, okay, get up in front of a stage, have a conversation with yourself. Let's get to the root of it, is my belief. Get to the root of it, transcend it, figure out, because everything comes from a place of fear. So if I'm self-sabotaging from fear, and it doesn't matter if I'm earning 70 million. I've seen it. 70 million lose it. They go on this roller coaster of success into what is their own devastation in many aspects.
Definitely. And so do you think it has to do with this alignment between your internal state and external state?
Most definitely. And I think a lot of people have categories. We take all these amazing assessments, and they're great, and they serve us as tools. And we're so much more complicated as human beings. What programmed you didn't program me. The experiences that I've lived, you may say that's a piece of cake. Yet it may have been such an impactful experience for me that it's holding me back in my career, and vice versa. And who knows, maybe they don't even impact us at all. Yet I'm making the assumption that it's impacting you or impacting me, and we're in a completely different place.
Right. And do you think that most people usually realize their behaviors in this way, or what they're kind of doing, or are most people you interact with completely unaware of this?
I think we assume, I'm just going to put it on there. We
Okay.
assume that we are fully aware of ourselves. I believe because we have anywhere from 60,000 thoughts to 70,000 thoughts a day. 80 to 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts that we have yesterday. We're not even aware that we're having these thoughts. We have no clue. What is that repetitive thought that we keep on thinking, or that repetitive feeling that we keep on feeling, or even that we make anywhere from 35,000, Makaeel, can you imagine? We make 35,000 to 40,000 decisions a day. Do you think I'm aware of my decisions? Or do you think I'm like this, autopilot reacting? I get up in the morning, I drink my cup of coffee, I stand up in the same way, I move in the same function. And anything, like our body knows how to do things better than we even do.
Right. I mean, the autonomic system, right? I mean, it functions, and we've evolved in such a way that it functions to such a T that it allows us to actually live day to day. And that's a great way of putting it. I mean, we do, and we make so many decisions that we aren't even aware of every single day, right? So to actually assess and reflect on things like this, I mean, it's probably like not on your to-do list, definitely, right?
And then we're not even aware that we're not even aware. 90% of our world, we're not even aware of. I don't even know that I don't even know. I think I know everything, yet there's so many things that I don't know, that when I begin to learn, they're shocking. I learn things new every single day. My preconceived notions, the way that I think something is supposed to work out, not work out, function, not function, whatever. I recognize that I'm in my client's shoes because I've been my greatest client as well. Turning my life around from where I come from is like night and day. And here I am at 2:39 in the morning meditating, thinking about how did I get to transform myself in the way that I have. I could have been
Mhm.
this amazing warrior and kept on forever. Yet, do I want to come from a place of warrior or do I want to come from a place of alignment and peace?
Definitely. And going into your story, which is so powerful, right? Going from this place of really being overlooked and underestimated, to now working with leaders at scale. Was there a moment in your own personal journey where that shift really clicked for you?
Boy, there was a major wake-up call at the age of 34. I was blessed with a brain tumor.
Wow.
And that allowed me to wake up and say, okay, Rocio, you haven't done anything. You're chasing money. You're creating these products and services to follow the way that life is lived in this country and other places in the world too. And then
Right, right. The universe.
the universe. And I'm like, Rocio, this is not for you. How do I start to make that shift? And that pivot was probably one of the most difficult things because I had to override my entire life's programming that helped me accelerate, that helped me be very successful to creating from nothing. Like starting from, you can
Right.
say zero from a
Yeah.
place of love and alignment, zero, yet with all this amazing life experience.
Definitely. And what do you think changed internally for you during that phase of being, having a diagnosis like that and then, still having to wake up day after day and go at it?
Choose to be present, choose to be happy. It was a choice. As a matter of fact, the same day that I was diagnosed, I made that decision. What am I going to do? Imagine being 34 years old, had just turned 34. And the
Yeah.
doctor said, you can have a stroke and die any moment. I said, okay, thank you, doctor. What are my options? Right. To me, it became a business transaction. So what changed is that I started to look at the situation as something that was outside of me that could be controlled and taken care of, as opposed to this is a life sentence.
Mhm.
And I started to live for me. It's like, what makes my heart sing? I remember October 20th that I woke up the day after the diagnosis. And I said, okay, Rocio, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? I'm like, I love watching people happy. I'd been doing leadership on the side ever since I was 19 years old. And I decided, I'm like, that makes my heart sing. I want to watch people be happy. I want them to have happier, healthier, wealthier lives, families, communities, what they want out of life. That's what shifted. What my focus, what I thought was something that everybody did, which was leadership development. I thought it
Mhm.
was it was so natural to me. I'm like, everybody knows this. This is like this is a piece of cake. When I recognized that it was an actual gift, I'm like, wow, not everybody knows this. How do I use this in a way for it to serve humanity?
Wow, that's extremely powerful, and I think, I mean, there's thousands of people who are thankful for that decision, right? With the people that you've worked with, and did you feel like your interactions with people changed as well, or the way you were communicating with your clients and new people that you meet, as you had this shift in perspective?
Completely. I want Makaeel from being like this amazing person with an extraordinary stage presence to being human.
Mm.
Because you can put me in
Right.
front of the room, I can talk about like the programs that I was working with, I can talk about marketing, I can talk about whatever you put me in front of the stage. And at that moment, I shifted into human mode,
Mm.
sharing vulnerabilities, sharing my life experiences, and all of a sudden, like people, as opposed to seeing me as one of my friends described it. He's like, Rocio, you're like when you're driving in the middle of the night and you see the stars, you can feel like you're almost touching them, yet
Mm.
you'll never get to touch them. So that was the major shift, that all of a sudden I became human. All of a sudden I was relatable in ways, and people like, Rocio, like, I really like your leadership style because nobody talks about their downfalls. Everybody's talking about their wins and how amazing life is. No, no, no. You fall on your face. You get your knees scraped. You know, the
Mhm.
universe stabs you left and right, and you get up
Yeah.
and do it all over
Over
again.
and over again. Yeah. Yeah, and you just have to have that resilience and that drive to, well, just get back up and not let those kinds of things halt your progress or halt where you see your life going. And that's I think that's something that not a lot of people get visibility into. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I think related, so you've built a self-coaching system with the MindShift experience. What are some patterns that you see in people who actually transform, or versus are staying stuck?
Well, the major patterns is that they're having success. Like, they understand that success is a result of who they are. And mind you, I coach children as young as 10.
Mm.
As a
Wow.
10-year-old gets it, they're like, I'm the captain of my ship. They understand how they're creating their life experiences. When a person understands that, anything is possible and probable for them. They
Mm.
start to see how they're the ones impacting their own success or not, right? Are they showing up with that fear that they had as a little boy, a little girl? Today I saw on LinkedIn this amazing video that I had seen many versions of it throughout the last couple of decades. Little girls stop to believe about the age of 6 on their capabilities and who they are. Can you imagine if we start that young and thinking about, it's not possible for me, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it
These
is,
limiting beliefs.
the limiting beliefs that
Mhm.
start coming in. Why? How did they get there? If we're raising children the same, why does one sex versus the other start to think that about themselves? And for me, in the work, is that people begin to believe that they're unstoppable because they are. Like, that's the secret. This is not, and the major secret is people think it's like, no, it's because somebody has time, energy, money, resources, education. They have networks, they have all of this. And at the same time, I've been in front of people who didn't even speak English. They weren't from this country. They were uneducated. They couldn't even read and write in their own language, much less
Mhm.
communicate in the dominant language. Yet they were able to transform themselves simply by using the tools. And it had nothing to do with time, energy, money, resources, education, networks, who you know, what you don't know, and whatever.
Mhm.
This is accessible to a 2-year-old child.
Definitely. So would you say it's about committing to the program, committing to the discipline, and doing actually doing the inner and outer work
It
is the difference, right?
Completely. And that's one of the questions. Even on Monday, I have this mind shift reset where I do a visualization on a weekly basis, which I'd love for you to join us. And
Yes, yes. I did see the invite, and I'm planning to join more regularly. Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
So my clients are asking, they're like, Rocio, should I continue doing my affirmations? I'm like, stop, stop. For the same reason, if you're following, trust the process right here, because you can be doing something externally and somebody could have created these beautiful, what seems to be beautiful affirmations that are actually programming you negatively. As a matter
Mhm.
of fact, even Sunday night, I'm chatting with a friend. He's all excited. He brings out his affirmations, like, look at my affirmations. I follow them every day. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at him like, I listen, I read them, and I'm like, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. There was only 10. There were 7 of them that were programming him negatively. Can you imagine somebody comes in, gives you like, hey, I'm your magic genie, gives you what you want out of life, yet you're rejecting it based on what you're doing externally because somebody had an amazing intention to help people, yet they're not skilled. They don't understand how the mind works. An affirmation's not an affirmation. And yes,
Mhm.
it will become a confirmation when you start to believe it. And are you believing the right thing, or are you believing something that's counterproductive to who you are and who you want to be in the future?
Right. I mean, it's influencing your behavior, right? I mean, subconsciously repeating these affirmations, which may or may not be harmful to your actual psyche, right? I actually met with Dr. David Craig Utz. This is like last week, and him and his partner Anatoly have this this kind of leadership experience where they really do look at, well, these differences between your internal and external state, utilizing different types of tools and techniques, from sound therapy to utilizing ways to actually manage stress and cope with anxiety and things like that, for executives and leaders. And this brings me back to that as well, because I mean, it's such a powerful thing to be able to, well, actually evaluate, some of the tendencies that I have, or the patterns which I have, but subconsciously I'm not actually keeping track of them, and the types of affirmations I'm saying as well, right? Those have an impact on that as well. And he was actually very much against these affirmations in general, right? That, I mean, affirmations are not going to get you out of, the hole you're in. I mean, it's about right.
Completely. And it's about doing something that's far more productive. I talk about physiology. What's the impact of physiology? What's the impact of self-efficacy on the body, the mind, my ability to be able to think straight? Because again, you can have all the time, energy, money, resources, education in the world. And yet, if you don't have self-efficacy, if you haven't rested, and there's 11 points that we cover, if you don't have self-efficacy, you don't have awareness. If you don't have awareness, you can't self-reflect. If you can't self-reflect, you can't self-correct, right? All of this, even forgiveness plays a part in that. And we don't even think about that. Like, why am I talking about forgiveness in the area of leadership development? Of course, because we drag everything with us from our past, and it comes into this present moment. Like the idea of put it in a paper bag, leave it outside the door. It's a joke. It's not true. You bring your humanity wherever you go.
Absolutely. And but there is also the flip side of where there's a lot of leadership advice, right? And a lot of leadership advice sounds good conceptually, but it's often hard to apply. So how do you make something like confidence or presence actually tangible for real people?
Wow, that's such a great question. Inside of the MindShift game, we have 8 areas that we focus. Courage is the first thing. Courage and confidence. How do you establish confidence? Through courage, through courageous actions. We cannot grow without it. It's not like, whoo, let me go ahead, magic wand, you're courageous now. It is about doing the very things that you fear doing or feel uncomfortable. And we all have a different way of being. I could be, for instance, me, I didn't want to be in front of a stage. Why? What did that mean? It was that part of me as a human being who shied away from it because of negative past experiences. And we've all had them, right? If somebody laughed at you in class and now you're 23, 53 years old in front of a stage and you're like, no,
Yeah,
like
that happened to me. Yeah.
that little child abandons you on the stage or shows up on the stage. So to me, it is courageous action. So you take courageous action, you build your confidence. One step at a time, one day at a time, one thing at a time. Then you're able to tap into your vision, not mother, father, teacher, preacher's vision, because we do follow that. Oh, my mother, my father, that they wanted to be an architect, a doctor. How many times have I heard that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, being an immigrant, from an immigrant family myself, I mean, my parents have always, I mean, they've actually been kind of less so than maybe some of my friends' parents, but still, you do get those kinds of those things kind of passed on to you.
Completely. I have friends that I still work with, and even psychologists that I work with. They're 70 years old. Their mother wanted them to be a Nobel Prize winner in whatever other area they wanted them to be, and they are not, so therefore they're not fulfilled. Like, how does this happen? I don't believe that we have a midlife crisis. I believe that we have an identity crisis. Because we veered away from who we came here to be in this world based on the external world who told us who to be. And we adopted that just to fit in. Again, I wanted to fit in with my family. I wanted to fit in with society, with my friends. I don't know. Come on. I have a dual MBA in international business and marketing. Did I want a dual MBA? No. But my college counselor said, you can have a dual MBA. And I'm like, seriously? I followed
Yeah.
him.
You were like, really?
Save myself $30,000 back in the day.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
And time and effort in life.
Definitely. Right, right, right. And I mean, something else I find really interesting about your experience is that you've turned your thinking into books and frameworks. How has writing and publishing shaped how you think about leadership and communication, executive communication?
I'd say writing has allowed me to be who I am today. It has revealed who I came here to be in ways that I could have never imagined. It has allowed me to transcend what I didn't even want to recognize, forget about the rest of the stuff that I recognize, which
Mm,
has allowed me to be more authentic. Like I can feel that I can connect from the heart now. Before it was like, like this perfect Pollyanna business woman, the showing up in the world. No, no, no. Life is not like that. Here's the whole human behind the experience. It has allowed me to connect with people. It has allowed me to connect with myself, most importantly, first and foremost, with myself, with my inner circle, with people that I lead and people that I share thoughts and insights with. So writing has allowed me to do that. And my latest book, Identity Alchemy, well, you see it there. Like, my gosh, I overuse this book. I use it as it's intended to be used and abused
right. That's how it should be looking.
over and over again. And inside of the book, it leads us on this journey of self-discovery. Every time we release something that is not us, it's like the Michelangelo and the David. Every time we release that which is not us, we claim something which is far more powerful than this persona that we show up with.
Definitely. And you've worked with over, I mean, 60,000 professionals, right? And these people, if you think, your clients or future clients and people in general actually had a way to see how they were coming across in conversations in real time or getting a sense of their presence, how do you think that would change their growth or amplify their growth?
I think it would dramatically. As a matter of fact, I have a group of women that I lead every Wednesday night. And one of those conversations came up. I was like, wow, somebody did something to me. And as we're exploring, they realize, no, I did that to myself. And I'm blaming the other person for what I did to myself. And how would that change it? Wow, like I would take responsibility over everything I did. As a matter of fact, here, completely open here. Years ago, I remember my boyfriend's mom, and this is decades ago. She was on my mind for a long time. I had said some things, she had said some things. We both said things, okay? And it was in my space. I even saw her one day that I was shopping and I'm like, I avoided her. I'm like, I don't even know how she's gonna react, okay? She doesn't like me. And today she reached out to me on social media. And today I said, today's the day. I'm going to call her and have a conversation with her. A minute into our conversation, I said, okay, I am responsible 100% for how this conversation goes. And I get to choose to voice what is in my space and let it go
Mhm.
so that I can move on, right? There's a heaviness in the energy. And I said, please forgive me for being rude. I said some things. She's like, no, no, no. I was the one who was being rude. I was mean to you. And I keep on thinking, I'm like, okay, I get it. I accept it. And you know what? At the very end, I said, I did say some things too. I repeated some things that somebody shared with me that weren't even what I thought. And
Mm.
I'm just like being completely, because I could have been, oh, okay, great. You take responsibility. Thank you for taking responsibility. But it's not about that, Makaeel. It's about taking our own responsibility to see what we think happens to us is actually our creation.
Absolutely. Right, right. I mean, yeah, we are the product of our thoughts and our habits, and and we create those, right? And that's something that we've been thinking about with Noor as well. It's not telling people, well, how they should sound or what they should say, but it's actually giving them a sort of mirror for their voice, right? And helping them actually see what's already happening. And that's how we think about it, being reflective and not prescriptive. And that's really the way that I think we align a lot on is the way that people actually transform is, right? You having this reflection and gentle feedback so that they can then of course make some improvements or do something about it in general.
Yes, and that's what I love about your work, that you can do that in a private space, right? Sometimes if we're doing it in front of a group setting, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to fully say what I think or how I'm going to pretend or whatever it is, however I show up. And the fact that you've created this amazing product that people can do that work privately with themselves and say, oh, how did I come across? How's that working out for me, right? What am I seeing that now that I can shift tomorrow, the
Right.
next second, the next presentation, the next conversation? I think it takes courage to do that. And those who seek for it will find it. And they will discover amazing things as they get that feedback. And it reminds me, your system reminds me very similar in my work as well. A girlfriend was working with her daughter and she's auditioning for this new school, this art school. And she comes out, she's 10 years old. She's like, Mom, let me go ahead. She starts singing and auditioning. And she's like, can I give you some feedback? She gives her feedback. Daughter's like flaming up. I can't believe you're telling me that. She goes, you could either choose to take the feedback and learn from it and enhance your skills or not. I mean, if a 10-year-old can get, I'm sure, us, however age we
Right.
are, whatever,
Right.
figure it out and take it as a tool. Feedback is only a tool. It's only a tool. And when
Definitely.
we feel it differently, come to me. We'll take care of that. We'll help you take care of that because
Right.
we shouldn't be feeling the attack of feedback, although we do. I felt attacked for a long time. Somebody would say something and it's like they said 99.9% of it, and that 0.001% that they said there was something, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. In
Right.
reality, it's stuff that we haven't transcended.
Right. And I think most people are afraid of judgment, right, when they're receiving feedback. And I think that's why when you give reflective feedback and not something that's prescriptive or telling you what to do exactly or what you did wrong exactly or compare you to a population norm, that's when I think things can really start to get messy, right? But I think when you're getting a very clean kind of reflection or mirror of how uh, you're behaving or certain patterns that you have, I think most people then can become more receptive to that kind of feedback as well. And for someone listening, maybe a founder or a leader, what's one thing that they can start paying attention to immediately to improve how they show up in conversations or how they set their mindset?
That's such a great thing. We're always pay attention to the experience that we're having. We think about the thoughts, we think about the feelings, think about the experiences that we keep on creating and recreating. And through that, I have this amazing exercise to continue to expand my awareness. Writing. I had a friend writing at 11 o'clock last night. Let's go on this journey and give him 10 questions. Let's go ahead and take care of that. See what you find out. We can do it through writing. The other way that I show people that we're so conditioned, our mind just works on automatic pilot. Move your trash can and see where you throw your trash. Move your toothbrush and see where you try to go for it, right?
Mm,
And most importantly, start to do something differently every day. In time, things start to get even better. We start to have different awarenesses when we get out of that conditioning, that automatic conditioning that we have created for ourselves. So that's what I would say. And then most importantly, get to know you. It's not about your team, what they're doing, not doing, lack or not lack.
mm.
When you understand yourself, you have far more compassion and empathy and awareness to see that there's something going on with your team member and can help them move forward. Because who knows, I have people walking out of NASA. Like, who walks out of NASA? Okay, come on. Why? Why are they walking? Because they felt offended by what somebody said, what the
Mm.
leader may have lacked awareness. Maybe they lacked awareness themselves. They think that somebody's hoarding information. They think that somebody's not sharing thoughts and insights. Whatever it is that we're thinking, most of the time I can guarantee you that it's not even accurate to begin with.
Definitely. And on the flip side, what do you think something people can stop doing, right?
Stop following everybody under the moon. If they're going to study with you, study with you. If they're going to study with me, right? Study with the people that know what they're doing, because so many people are putting out things on social media. I keep on hearing them, seeing them everywhere. And I don't know, my ears screech and I'm like, oh my gosh. And like knowing and having a base of 0 to 8 is one of my specialties in child development, and seeing how a person develops and working with people all the way to 95 years of age, I can see the impact all the way across their life. Trust the process, whatever process you choose. It's almost like marketing. I remember when I had a marketing company, even if you follow the wrong strategy, you're going to have greater success than if you try to implement 100 strategies. One
Oh, yeah.
one flawed strategy will give you greater success than 100 perfect strategies.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you're kind of diverting your attention in so many different ways, right? And it's really hard to be present and actually and be focused on the one kind of avenue that you have in front of you. So that's great. And this was great in general. I think what stands out is how much of leadership presence and good communication is how you show up, and a lot of these things people aren't really aware of, and they can be made more aware of. And so thank you so much, Rocio, for joining us. Where can people find and learn more about you, the MindShift experience, or your other work?
Most definitely. You can find us on TMSC EXP, right? TMSCXP.com. You can give me a call, 303-587-83. I know I'm one of the few ones that give a phone number, 303-587-8367. You can find us on YouTube under the MindShift Experience. You can find us on the school platform as well. We teach self-regulation there that creates greater awareness. Give us a call. Go on our website, tmsexp.com.
Awesome. And yeah, we'll be sure to link those as well. Thank you so much again. And we're looking forward to chatting again really soon.
Thank you so much.
See ya.